The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off. I'm Moses Woldu. We've got a great show for you, but first we got to get to our guest, Andrew Brethauer, my co-host. How are you doing, my man? Good, yourself? All right. Long weekend treat you well?
Perfectly. Relaxed.
Perfect.
We're good.
Calm, zen, everything's working well?
It's working. That's well, maybe a matter of opinion, but.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, one guy's feeling zen. This guy feeling much more relaxed as well. Greg Buchanan.
Sure.
Co-host of the Tuesday night sports show as well. Former co-host of mine. And glad to have you on. It's been a while.
Nice being back.
Yeah. Now we get to put you on this seat.
Sure.
A little bit different from your usual
You
spot.
still got the
Little
groove,
jealous.
though. I'm still working it in.
Yeah, I think I kind of put a couple of dents in that chair.
Perfect. All right. Well, you know what? Let's get to the topics and start off with Team Canada. You look at the World Hockey Championships. It was more of a who's who when you look at prior teams or before. Compared to prior teams, there wasn't really much where you said, oh, wow, this is going to be a really great team. They've struggled. Canada hasn't even won a medal since 2009. All of a sudden, you have a team that goes perfect. You bring Sidney Crosby, who not only just accepted the role of going to the World Hockey Championships, he actually phoned Hockey Canada and said, look, you need a guy. I'm already available. I want to join. You look at the dominant performance they also had. They won every single game. There wasn't really much of a test outside, maybe a little bit of Team Sweden during the preliminaries, but outside of that, they were really on lock.
Well, yeah.
How would you describe their dominant performance?
Can you imagine sitting in the Calgary office of Hockey Canada? We got Sidney Crosby on line one. It's awesome that he steps up, but it's a perfect storm. Sidney doesn't want to be there, honestly. As much as it's great that he took the Maple Leaf and ran with it, but at the same time, he'd rather be playing in the NHL playoffs. All those guys would. So it was a perfect storm. You had some top-end talent that either didn't make the playoffs or lost out in the first round, and they made him that good. Will you ever see a team that good again at the World Hockey Championship? Who knows? Because really, we don't know what the history or what the future is going to be for the World Hockey Championship with Hockey Canada at present.
Andrew, what would you say about this? Best Team Canada performance, dominant throughout a tournament ever, and also including the Olympics?
I'd maybe say that because they did so well. But like in the World Championships, I don't know if you can name another team. Like I couldn't. Like I'd have to go back and to think about a World Championship hockey team because nobody cares about this tournament. It's the sideshow to the playoffs, and probably because of Crosby and what they did, that's why this tournament got so much exposure this year, and it was such a dominant team. If you look at you have to look at it. They won perfectly. They had no competition. They swept through the thing, but I don't know if you can compare this and say that, oh, well, they're the best team over the Olympic team because you're missing a lot of players. Like, say, Ovechkin wasn't playing for Russia throughout the entire tournament until, like, the final two games. You're missing so many players from great teams that are right now that I don't think you can really say.
And didn't they have a promotion this year as a first-time promotion where if you finish through the round robin and the championship are undefeated, you got 1 million francs? I don't think they're going to do that promotion again.
How dominant they've been. Okay, well, quickly, I know we talked about this before we went on air. Team Russia not staying around for the Canadian anthem. Was that a Bush League move?
Very, very. I talked to Wade Redden. He played in 2005 in Vienna. They won the silver. They lost out in the gold medal final. I asked him where was he when they were playing the national anthem of the gold medal winning team. He goes, I was standing on the blue line. All need to be said. I think Russia, there should be something that comes forward that's saying Russia, whatever. Find them, do something, but you got to discipline Russia for not standing. That's Bush League.
Yeah, it's classless. It's like that's hockey. That's what you are. You talk to anything like, look at the RBC Cup that happened this past weekend. Losing team was sitting on the blue line that you have to. It's part of hockey. It's part of every sport you go through. You battle hard and you give it up for the other team for being there. So there's got to be something.
You look at a 7-game series in the NHL playoffs. You just go to war for 7 straight games, and you hate that other player on the other side. But at the end of that game 7, you're shaking hands. And that's what the sport's supposed to be about.
All right, guys, moving on to Deflategate, the fallout of it, that is. You knew from last week that Tom Brady was hit with a pretty good suspension, 4 games. Then you look at the team being fined, losing picks. But there's an appeal. You knew that was coming. But it just so happens to be the guy who's the arbitrator for this appeal is the same guy who suspended you 4 games. Is that right?
Oh, it's wrong, completely wrong. Arbitrators should be unbiased and have really no connection to the suspension, the original suspension. So I think the NFL probably could afford to bring in an arbitrator. Just not looking at their books, but I think they can afford it.
Well, they have like a 230-page report on this, so if you can hire a big class lawyer and scientist to do your Deflategate analysis, I'm sure you could hire one of the goons to do something for an arbitrator. So yeah, you shouldn't be involved in the decision, because where's the guy who made the decision? You basically have to convince him that he was wrong, and now you convince the commissioner of the NFL that he was wrong, where everything else has gone wrong. He needs to get something right, so of course he's going to. I'd make it worse now if you are. Slap on 4 more games, why not? Because he has to get something right eventually.
Well, you talk about making things worse. Don't you think that this would make Goodell's situation and relationship worse? Because he's on thin ice. You look at some of the mistakes he's made, there's a lot of pressure for him to leave. The guy who really stood behind him through thick and thin was Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. Now, this has got to at least tear that relationship apart. Can they at least amend it? Or is it done?
But who is Kraft should be upset with? Should it be upset with Goodell for suspending Tom Brady, or upset with Tom Brady for telling, oh no, I didn't do anything, to his owners, to the fans, to the coaching staff, to his teammates, and then it coming out, well, actually I did. I think the blame should be pulling out one guy, not the guy that suspended him.
Exactly. How do you just won the championship, and now you're going to blame the commissioner for calling foul on your championship win and everything else you accomplished because of you cheating?
This is a team that's been known for doing it before,
Yeah.
but outside of that, no matter if you want to shift the blame to Brady or not, is this going to hurt their relationship?
Oh, it probably will. And that's the thing where Rodgers in a tough spot, because his bosses are all the owners. So whenever he comes down on whether it be New England, pick a team, he's going to be in trouble with that owner, and now he's in trouble with Robert Kraft. Is it going to cost him his job? It's piling up right now.
It didn't cost him his job with Ray Rice, and I don't think it's going to cost him, or Adrian Peterson. I don't think it's going to cost. This isn't going to make him lose it, but I read that him and Kraft talked on the weekend, hugged it out afterwards about it.
Hugged it out.
Pretty much.
But the thing is, okay,
Had a moment.
we're talking about Deflategate right now, and trust me, the NFL does just a great job that there's going to be another controversy coming along, and we'll forget about Deflategate. There's going to be something that's going to happen in the news, off the field, that is going to put the NFL in a worse light. So just kind of wait.
All right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break and make people wait just for 2 minutes. We'll be back with more Gloves Are Off.